Hi, how are you? Nice seeing you. Today, I'm talking about a very sensitive issue, but a very important one, something that's very practical, something that almost everyone deals with, relationship between mother-in-laws and sister-in-laws. So, Joe came to live in the United States of America, and after a while, he found a nice girl. So he calls his mother and he invites her to his wedding. You know, that time I guess they didn't have the cell phones and the selfies, so he didn't really send her a picture. And as later on he goes to pick her up from the airport, he brings her home. And at home, the bride was there with two of her friends, and they were fixing the table, they were preparing something nice to eat. So he comes home, he brings his mother, and he tells his mom, Ima, can you guess who is my bride out of these three? He looks, she looks and looks, and then she says, the middle one. He's like, how did you know? She comes to him later and she tells him, I couldn't stand her from the first moment. There's a lot of myth and a lot of confusions and a lot of misunderstandings in this whole subject of mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. Some people call a mother-in-law a monster-in-law, and the question is that right? Is this the right attitude, the right way? Are all the mother-in-laws monsters or witches, bad people, like to go inside and interfere and bother and make troubles? And so we see already from our sources, from the Gemara, we see already from there, yes, it wasn't that easy by then too. Okay? For example, Masechet Sotah, it says that Be'ikveta Dimshicha, whenever it's going to be the generation of the Mashiach later on, which is around nowadays, Chutzpeta Yazge, meaning the chutzpah will increase. They give all kind of things what will happen in the time of the Mashiach. Lo Aleinu, kids are going to curse their parents, and daughters will not get along with their mothers, and daughter-in-laws, okay, would not get along with mother-in-laws. So what? It wasn't in the past? Of course it was in the past too. Another source in the Gemara says that there are, this is says in Masechet Yevamot, הכל נאמנים לעדה חוץ, let's say some incident happened. No, today there's let's say a law that let's say you go to a gynecologist, a male, and so you cannot really go there by yourself. You have to, somebody has to accompany you, to be with you. If your husband cannot come with you, so who can come with you? Your mother-in-law, your sister-in-law, your other sister-in-law. I mean, it could be the wife of your brother, could be the wife, sister of your and your stepdaughter, and so and if your man used to have a second wife, so she could come also. What is there? You see that there's a lot of tension there, yeah, because usually these people do not naturally get along with one another, and if something happens, they won't keep it to themselves. They will go and tell, you know, that something was going on between these two. So there was always a tension. There was always a suspicious, I don't know, feelings between one another. But in this time of the Mashiach, they say it will be not the increase that it says here will come to contempt, and it will be something like she doesn't even care about her. She doesn't even care helping her, and or you know, years ago it would be with respect, with honor. So people would honor older people than them. Today it's even without this. So the relationship between mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws were always problematic, always. They say that in China, to avoid this kind of a problem, they send the young girl already from young age to her mother-in-law's house, and basically they raise her. They raise her so she gets used to their mentality, to the way that they used to think. So it avoids all kind of problems later on. You know, as she comes to the house when she's adult already, she's not getting shocked. This is how you eat your cereal? This is how you, I don't know, iron your clothing or comb your hair or whatever. So to avoid the problems, this is how they used to do. In Taiwan, they said they have this kind of ceremony that the mother-in-law puts the ring on the bride, not the husband, the mother-in-law. And they see if she's able to do it, she'll be able to control, in a way, the daughter-in-law. If she won't be able to do it, the daughter-in-law would have too much independence, and, you know, for them this ceremony kind of start their relationship in the right way, something like that. In Burma, they call the daughter-in-law, they call her the sweating girl. Why? Because she has to sweat a lot to appease her mother-in-law, to make sure that Bukharian communities also were not so far from these places, from Asia, and also when girl used to get married, she used to go and live with her mother-in-law, right, with all the family. She would become a part of the family, like a daughter to the family, and you liked it or you didn't like it, everybody were the same, everybody were like this, and people got used to that. Yeah, so there were not so much conflicts as opposed to today. Today it's not acceptable so much, and people live separate. And this usually, with the society and with the lifestyle of today, avoids all kind of problems between mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws and sister-in-laws and whatever. So yes, they say that once this guy went to pick up his mother from LaGuardia airport, and he asks his mother-in-law, so for how long you're planning to stay here in our house? And she's like, as long as you wish me to. And he's like, oh really, you're going to leave us so fast? Meaning they want her even to stay for a while, and she's coming from afar, you see. So what is this hatred or this fear from the mother-in-law, right? And what can we do about this? Is there a way that there could be some kind of a good relationship with the mother-in-law and friendship? And yes, we know that there are many times. There are very, very good relationship between mother-in-laws and sister and daughter-in-laws. Depends how you look at things. Depends how you develop your relationship. Sometimes they say that mother-in-laws they like their daughter-in-laws, okay, and their opinion about things, you know, sometimes about, I don't know, designing, sometimes about the way that they fix the house, and the way that they fix the table, and the way their house is kept neat, and then more than their own daughter sometimes. Sometimes daughter-in-law appreciates very much the mother-in-law's knowledge, not in a way that she tries to oppose, that she tries to force on her her ideas and everything, but sometimes they praise one another, they feel good with one another. The question is, what is the problem? I'll give you an example. Let's say a doctor works in a hospital. Naturally, he wants the patients to come to him. So he makes himself and he praises himself in front of the patient. And deep in his heart, he doesn't want that his other colleagues will succeed in giving this best care to the patient, okay? And so he wants himself, he feels like he competes with his other colleagues, and he wants the best. It could be in teaching, it could be in gardening, it could be in any field that you work. Naturally, people feel, you know, that if they know something, they want to give 100% of them. But then if somebody else comes and takes their place, they feel intimidated. We can understand that Baruch Hashem, mother-in-laws, they raised the boy from young age, and they made him to become who he is now. So they ran after his education, and they paid for this education, and feeding him, and making sure he's doing, he's developing this talent, and this talent, and this thing, and this thing. And Baruch Hashem, so they give a lot, and they invest a lot in the children and everything. Now, after 25 years, a young girl comes, and she kind of picks up this ripened fruit, and she's like, he's mine, you cannot touch him, don't come close to him anymore, that's it, you cannot say anything about this anymore. And imagine to yourself, Baruch Hashem, you're young, imagine to yourself, you yourself, how much you investing so much on your children, and somebody will come and she'll tell you, you have no say in this anymore, and don't interfere, and you're so old-fashioned, and you don't know anything. So it's natural that women will feel this way. I want to give you a research that was done about relationship of mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws. So this research was done in Israel, and the question was, are these relationships problematic? 50% of the mother-in-laws, from some reason, refused to participate in this research. Didn't say why, refused. Only one daughter-in-law, refused to participate, but here we say 50% of them didn't want to be in the part, to have any part in this. 75% of the brides, of the daughter-in-laws, said there are problems in the relationship, as opposed to only 25% of the mother-in-laws. They say probably mother-in-laws didn't want to admit that they have problems. 79% of the mother-in-laws appreciated the relationship. They said, they marked that the relationship between them and their mother-in-laws are pretty close. This is what they say. But only 51% of the daughter-in-laws said the same. Usually, it was very hard for the young generation to find good qualities in their mother-in-laws. They remarked all kind of bad qualities, negative qualities in their mother-in-laws, and the mother-in-laws did not mention so much bad qualities. They mentioned the better qualities. They praised some of their daughter-in-laws. Interesting. They continue this research. They say all kind of stuff. They say that religious people have less problems within the family between mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws, because they come from this understanding that we're supposed to respect our fathers, our mothers, and this is the father and mother of our husbands. So there is this kind of respect. As other people that do not follow laws of Torah, they don't feel that they need to respect elders so much. In this research, they say although that Sephardim, they respect also better or more than Ashkenazim. They have more family values, more respect in the family. So they speak about all kind of aspects over there. Let me give you a story. It's a real story written in one of the books about Linda. Okay, this is kind of a problematic issue by itself because of the personality of the person, but I give purposely this extreme kind of an example. So this Linda, from very young age, was a rebellious girl. At the age of 15, they say, she was a spoiled girl, didn't care about what her parents tell her, didn't follow orders, did whatever she wanted, thought she's the smartest one around, and her parents are old-fashioned, don't know anything, and they couldn't tell her what to do. As much as the parents were trying to educator, it was so hard for them when they saw that she has such a strong personality. The mother just gave in. She couldn't do anything about this. Age of 18, she decided that she wants to get married. The parents did not approve this wedding, but she did. She went ahead and she did whatever she wanted. She got married. As she got married, she decided that she didn't want to have any connection with the parents whatsoever, and she just disconnected herself from her parents. Later on, she found to know that she doesn't get along with her husband from all kind of problems, and it was a very hard relationship between her and her husband. But life continued on. She gave birth to a little girl, and after 3 years she gave birth to another girl. And then, after giving birth to the second girl, her husband just decided that he doesn't want to live with her anymore, and they got divorced. Now, this lady was left alone. No parents, because she didn't want to have any connection with them. Okay? No husband now. No money. She was with her 2 daughters, and now she has to be a mother, be a father, be a provider, take care of their needs, physical needs, spiritual needs, mental needs, whatever kids they need. And it was so hard for her. Life made her very rough woman. She would scream at them. She would demand from them to clean their house, to do what's needed, the homework. Everything was with the screams and with demands and with... So as long as the girls were young, it worked out. It was no problem. But as they became teenage, this is when this age is not easy anymore. You cannot tell us what to do, and it's a rebellious age by itself. They didn't want to play this game with her anymore. And she would be furious, and she would get upset and be angry with everyone and force them. And in a way, she was like friend with them too. She listened to their problems. She was there for them. She advised them. She told them what to do and everything. But from the other side, she forced on them her opinion. She told them what to do and how everything was supposed to be around what she thinks and her opinion and how she looks at things and stuff like that. In the age when her daughter became, 15, 16, 17, she was in high school, she went once to the psychologist in her school. And she mentioned this relationship that she has with the mother. She accused her mother of verbal abuse and physical. She would hit her also. And when they invited her mother and they spoke with her, she's like, what do you want from me? You're not right, you don't know, it's my daughter's, I have to, blah, blah, blah. So they suggested the girl to go to a dormitory. The mother didn't let. She didn't like this idea. She was forcing. She was saying, no, yes. She went, and after 2 weeks, she was begging her daughter to come back. And as she came back, again, they started all these power struggles between the girl and the mother. And then they said that the daughter, she just became, she got connected with bad friends and lost her faith, and that's it, disappeared from the mother's life. Disappeared. Second daughter, in a way, followed these steps too, was in the school and was sent to the dormitory, and again the mother asks her to come back, and the school psychologist tell her that she has a very sick depends on her children. It's not good. It's to the extreme. She cannot have this kind of relationship with her, and it's good that they're away. And she didn't care, and she asked her to come back. And so the rabbis over there suggested the girl to have a shiur, to find a guy, to get married, and to be away as far from the mother as possible. This is in this kind of a situation when the mother was control freak. She couldn't let go. She had to oppose her opinion on her daughter. After they got married, she came and she bothered them and she bothered them, and then they had to also disappear from her life because it bothered their shalom bayit. So here I give you an example. Yeah, it's not a mother-in-law, but sometimes a mother can bother too. Sometimes when somebody, it's not only you have your opinions to keep it to yourself, you try to force this opinion on people's life, it's devastating, it's not healthy. And if a mother can make this kind of a mistake, imagine to yourself when a mother-in-law comes to a picture and the daughter-in-law looks at her like she threatens on her, this could be a disaster sometimes. So, so how do we do it? What's the secret? How we look at things? I would say instead of looking at the mother-in-law in the bed, looking at her and thinking that she's the witch and she's the worst and she's the monster, the best way of looking at things and working on us is called in Hebrew Ein Tova. What is Ein Tova? Looking at things in the good eye instead of in the bad eye. What is this good eye that we're talking about? It says soon is going to be Chag HaShavuot. And what do we read in Chag HaShavuot? We read a special book. It's called Megillat Ruth. It says Berut Rabbah. Amar Rabbi Zeira, one of the rabbis asking, Megillat Ruth, what's in this Megillah? It says, En bat tum'ah velo tahara. There's no, we don't learn their laws of purity and impurity. We don't learn their laws of isur and eter, what's allowed, what's not allowed, all kind of laws. Doesn't speak about laws at all. What does it talk about? To teach us how big is the reward of gomlei chasadim, of people who do kindness, okay? Kind things to one another. What does this connect to here? So we know that Elimelech was a very, very rich man. And at that time was a famine, was a hunger in Israel. And he, as a leader, instead of start supporting people, create organization of helping out, of chesed, of charity, he takes his family and he runs away with everyone from Israel to Moab. What is Moab? We know that Moab is a nation that we're not allowed to get married to them. Why? Because they didn't know what does it mean to be kind. When we were going through their land, they didn't offer water, they didn't offer bread. And if people are so not caring, it means they have bad qualities. This is where this Elimelech goes to live, okay? In this kind of a place. Rav Dessler says something interesting. He says that Hashem created in each and every person two big, strong powers. One is the power of giving, and one is the power of getting. Power of giving basically is kindness, to help out, to do chesed. Power of getting is the egoism, thinking about myself, selfishness, okay? And he says there's no way that there's any person in the world without any kind of giving. Every person gives a little bit, somehow. Even they say, for the continuity of the world, people must give. If he wants to get married, okay, he must give her, first he gives her a ring. Who's going to get married without the ring? And then he showers her with all kind of gifts and stuff. Otherwise, this relationship will not happen. You want to have children, you have to give and give and give and give and give and give constantly, right? So giving is a very strong power in the world, and everybody gives. Then some people give with their money, okay, helping out, charity and stuff. Some people help make kindness with their body. Let's say you go to a wedding of your friend. You go, your presence makes her happy, okay? Some people dance in a wedding, so you make with your body, you make somebody happy. Sometimes there's a sick woman or she woman that gives birth, or she needs some help. You go and you cook for her, you do something. These are all things, all kind of acts of kindness that people do. So Um, Usually, people that are they like to do kindness, they like to give chesed, to make chesed with others. They know that whatever they give out to other people, it's not from themselves, it's from Hashem. And Hashem gave me, so I can give it out next to other people. So, and when somebody does good to somebody, Hashem gives him, showers him back all the good that he does. He gives him even more. In Hebrew, the word Natan, to give, Natan, starts with Nun. In the middle we have Taf, and ends with Nun also. So from both directions, from this side and from the other side, you read it the same way, Natan. You give, you get back. It's not. You give, you always get back. You get so much blessings from Hashem because you give. And this is what Ruth, Moaviyah, this is what she teaches us. She had Ayin Tova as opposed to her father-in-law that was envious. He didn't like the fact that people come to him and ask for charity at this kind of a famine, and he ran away. She had Ayin Tova. She wanted to help. She liked helping. Okay, where do we see exactly Ayin Tova in Ruth?
With her mother-in-law?
With the mother-in-law. Okay, this is our connection to Ruth, mother-in-law, and so they say that Ruth Moaviyah, she was the daughter of a king in Moab, Eglon Melech Moab. She was a princess. She didn't lack anything. She had everything. But she got married to this family, to Avimelech's son. They were rich at that time also. Then they lost their money, they lost everything. The father-in-law died, the two brothers died, Ruth's husband and Orpah's husband, both brothers died, they lost money, everything. They became so poor, they didn't know what to do with themselves. Naomi hears, her mother-in-law, that they have, in Israel, they have money again. Okay, it's not hunger there anymore, they can go back. But how she's going to face back her people? Imagine to yourself, you left Russia, you came to America. America is so comfortable a place as opposed to Russia, let's say. You cannot get the same position that whatever you got here, back over there. Okay, you had your big house, but you cannot get all the good that you get here on a daily basis, okay? Now you have to go back over there. What people are going to think about you? Huh? Look at her. She's nothing. She became nothing. She came back to us again. She was so rich, Naomi. She has to go back now to Yehuda. People tell her, oh, she lost her money, she lost her husband, she lost her sons. And who comes? She comes with two Goyot, Gentile daughter-in-laws. They're not even Jewish. So they would make fun of her. Naomi offers them, go back to your father's house. You can wear again your gowns. You can wear again your jewelries. You can go to these dances and to go out and to get married with these rich guys and have fun in your life. You don't need to come with me. And Ruth doesn't want to leave her alone. Look at the names of Ruth and Orpah, her sister-in-law. Orpah in Hebrew means oref, the neck, the back of the neck. She turned her neck to her mother-in-law and she left. She said goodbye and she left. Verut, it says, Ra'ata bechamota. Ra'ata means that she agreed to all whatever she said. She looked at her, she hoped to be like her. She was her role model. She was like her Rabbanit. She looked at whatever you say, whatever you tell me, I'll do. Whatever you tell me.
She was the first or second daughter?
She was doesn't matter. There were two daughter-in-laws. And so she stuck with her. She wanted to get stuck, to cleave to her. It says Davkaba. She wanted to be with her. Now, Naomi cares about her, she cares about her. See how beautiful is the relationship between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. They come to Israel. Naomi was a very respected woman back in time. And they have to provide and they have nothing to support themselves. So Ruth herself, she offers, it's not so respected that you are going to go and pick up some bundles of wheat from the field. You're going to go around these people. It's not that. I will go. You stay home. I'll go. I'm much younger. I can do it. I can walk. I can come. Don't worry. Now, it's a strange place for her. She's not Jewish. I mean, she converted to Judaism, but by the eyes of the people, she's not. And people didn't really welcome her so nicely over there, back in time. So, in a way, she's not welcome there. She doesn't know the place, the area. People make fun of her. Who's she and where's she coming from? And look at her, how she's dressed. And look how she goes. They say, it's a beautiful description, how she did everything with tzniut, with modesty, how she kept her royal attitude, the way she walked and the way she talked and the way she behaved, that she stood out. She stood out so much, so nicely, that Boaz asked, who is this lady, special woman? So this is Ruth that made chesed, made kindness with her mother-in-law. Was looking how to make her feel good, how to respect her, how to learn from her, and her mother-in-law also respected her very much, liked her so much. She was looking to see, so how can she get married? How can she build a family now? What can I do? She made arrangements to see Boaz and whatever. This is a very, very strong example of a mother-in-law and daughter-in-law that could get along. It means it just depends how you look at things. If you look at her like she's your enemy, whatever she's going to do is not going to be good. But if you change your outlook and you think to yourself, she's trying to do something for my best. She tries to advise me. She tries to look for my benefit. So you change your outlook, things, attitude change also. Look how much. In Mizmor Eshet Chayil that Shlomo HaMelech wrote. Shlomo HaMelech was 6th generation from Ruth. Okay, because from Ruth HaMoaviyah came David HaMelech. We think, oh, you're so stupid. You, instead of going like Orpah and having fun in your life, having money, having fame, having people around you, having everything, you go and become Jewish. What happens to you? You bound yourself to 613 mitzvot. It's so hard. Keep Shabbat, keep Kashrut, keep everything. You don't need to do these things. And we think to ourselves, she's stupid. Why should she have to do that? She's not. She gained so much. They say that Ruth HaMoaviyah is Ima Shel Malchut, the mother of the kingship of Israel, because of Ruth HaMoaviyah. And what happened to Orpah? You know what happened to Orpah? That same day, the way that she left her mother-in-law and she went back to her nation, they say 100 guys met her on the way, and she made so many sins that day. It was unbelievable what happened to her that day. So, in a way, sometimes you think you're going after fame, you're going after money, you're going to just gain from this. No guarantee. Here's Ruth that didn't look for money, didn't look for fame. She became Ima Shel Malchut. She had King David later on. She had everything. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. So King Shlomo, that when he writes Eshet Chayil, that we read every Shabbat, says, when it comes to the letter R, Resh, he says, Rabot Banot Asu Chayil. And the Chazal, they explain, who is this Rabot Banot Asu Chayil? They speak about Ruth. Ruth, that later on came from her David and Shlomo, sherivu lakadosh baruch hu beshirim v'tishbachot, that gave so much praises to Hashem. They saturated Hashem with so much praises by writing psalm, the Tehillim and everything. So this is Ruth that King David came out of her. See how much power has a woman. It's unbelievable. They say that Kol Rashit Tova, the best of the best we see by the Jewish mothers. They say, for example, that Chava was Em Kol Chai. She was the mother of all the whatever lives in this world. Em Veikar Nevuah, Sarah. Sarah was the mother of prophecy. And Ema Yeshua, mother of redemption, was Miriam. Because of her started all the redemptions from Mitzrayim. It speaks about Dvorah, speaks about Esther, speaks about some other ladies, and Emma Malchut, it's Ruth. They say there were three great, great guys. One was the richest man of all. Who was the richest, you know? Korah. One was the smartest, the wise man of all, Shlomo HaMelech. And one was the strongest man of all, which was Shimshon HaGibor. And all of them failed because of their wives. So a woman can elevate her husband, right? Give him so much power, but from when woman is looking for money and she's looking for fame and she's looking for all kind of things in life, yeah, she can also make him fall. Wanted to. This is a very strong example in our sources in the Gemara, Masechet Shabbat, about a woman that a mother-in-law. She was really a monster. She really hated her daughter-in-law, and she gave her daughter-in-law a very, very strong and bad advice. She told her, go and put on yourself a cream. It's called Shemen HaAfarsamon. It's a special cream, special oils from the Afarsamon. I don't know how you translate it to English. Some kind of a fruit. And put it all over you. It will make you smell so good. And it was really a very, very good smell. So this poor daughter-in-law puts it on her and she feels so great, she feels so good. And then her mother-in-law asks her, can you be kind enough to set up the fire in the kitchen? Now this Shemen HaAfarsamon was very flammable. And as she touches the fire, okay, you know what happened. This is a very, very bad example, and lo aleinu, things like that can happen. Okay? Instead of looking for the bad, concentrate and take advantage to do the good. Ellen got married to a husband, and her husband